Yes, students, today we are going to start the chapter The Hundred Races Part 2, which is continuation of the chapter 5, The Hundred Races 1. This story is about a girl, Wanda, who was being bullied by her classmates because of her dress and unfamiliar name. And she used to claim about 100 dresses that she has. And this truth revealed when she participated in a competition and won it. Now let's read what happens next. While the class was circling the room, the monitor from the principal's office brought Miss Mason a note. When the students of classroom 13, they were looking at the drawings displayed in the classroom that were made by Vanda. Immediately then, the monitor of the class received a note from principal for a for Miss Mason, who is their teacher. Miss Mason read it several times and studied it thoughtfully for a while. Miss Mason read this letter for many times and analyzed it very concentratedly. Then she clapped her hands. Why she clapped her hands? To attract the attention of the class. She said, "Everyone back to their seat." She instructed all the students to get back to their seats. When the shuffling of feet and stopped and the room was still and quiet, Miss Mason said, when every student in the class arranged themselves on their seat and the whole classroom became silent, Miss Mason said, "I have a letter from Wanda's father that I want to read it to you." Miss Mason stood there for a moment and then silence in the room grew tense and expectant. Now Miss Mason explained to the class that she has received the letter from Wanda's father and she is eager to read it to the class. And then Miss Mason stood silent for a moment, because of which all the students they grew tense and excited. Expectant here means excited. The teacher adjusted her glasses slowly and deliberately. Deliberately means knowingly, purposefully. She adjusted her specs. Her manner indicated that what was coming, this letter from Wanda's father, was a matter of great importance. The teacher who adjusted her glasses slowly and deliberately, her action shows to the student that something it is very important in the letter sent by Wanda's father. Everybody listens closely. Closely means very attentively as Miss Mason read the brief note. When she was reading this letter to the class, the whole class was silent and listening to the teacher very carefully. And what is written in the letter? "Dear teacher, my Vanda will not come to your school anymore. Jake also. Now we move away to big city. No more holler polek. No more ask why funny name. Plenty of funny names in the big city. Yours truly, Jan Petronsky." What her father has written, he declared that from onward his daughter and son they will not come to school. They have left the school and now they are shifting to a big city where there nobody will be making fun of them because of their unfamiliar name, because everybody or the people in the big city they have funny names. Yours truly, Jan Petron. Now he signed himself as Jan Petronsky. A deep silence met the reading of this letter. When everybody heard this letter, the whole class became silent. Miss Mason took off her glasses, blew on them, and wiped them on her soft white handkerchief. Miss Mason took off her glasses. She took off her glass, blew on them, she blew air on them to dust it off, and then she wiped it with a soft white hanky. Then she put them on again. Then she put this specs again and started looking at the class. When she spoke, her voice was very low. Now she started speaking to the class in a low voice. This shows that she is deeply hurt. I'm sure that none of the boys and girls in room 13 would purposely and deliberately hurt anyone's feelings because of his name happened to be a long, unfamiliar one. Now she started talking to the class that she wanted to ensure that no boy of the girl or have in this room number 13 have purposely or deliberately means knowingly hurt anyone's feeling because of the name of the person or the look he or she has. I prefer to think that what was said in thoughtfulness. If someone has done it, I hope that you have not done it deliberately, but it was thoughtlessness. I know that all of you feel the way I do. I'm thinking and I'm knowing it very well that you all are feeling the same way that I feel now. That this is a very unfortunate thing to have happened. Yes, living of Wanda in this way is very sad and unfortunate thing for all of us. And I want you all to think about it. And the teacher asked everybody to think about this incident that took place recently. The first period was a study period. Mary tried to prepare her lesson, just as in your school the first period is activity period, but here the first period is study period. And Mary tried to prepare her lesson. She was busy in preparing her lesson, but she could not put her mind on her work. She was not able to concentrate on her study. She had a very sick feeling in the bottom of her stomach. This line shows that she was really very upset because of this incident. True, she had not enjoyed listening to Peggy ask Wanda how many dresses she had in her closet. Now she recalls the incident that how Peggy used to tease Wanda by asking a question how many dresses she had in her closet. But she had said nothing. But Maddie herself remained quiet when Peggy was teasing her. She had stood by silently. She stood over there. Means when Peggy was teasing Wanda, she was silent over there. She was looking over there. And that was just as bad as what Peggy had done. She did not raise her voice. She did not stop Peggy to do it, and that was just as bad as what Peggy had done. And this was equally wrong as she has done because Peggy is the girl who was teasing, so she is at fault. But Maddie, she was looking or she was watching all these things but not raising her voice against the action that Peggy was doing with her. So we can say that she is equally fault. She is equally faulty at that time. She is equally guilty at that time. She was a coward. Now she is blaming herself for being coward, timid, why she has not raised voice at that time. At least Peggy hadn't considered they were being mean. But Maddie had thought they were doing wrong. She could put herself in Wanda's shoes. Now Maddie was trying to realize the situation of or the mental state of Wanda. How she explained this, she says that if we will put ourselves in the shoes of Wanda, only then we will be able to realize that what sufferings Wanda is going on. She is going on. Yes. And similarly, we will have to realize that how Wanda must be feeling in the same way just now if anybody has been bullied again and again. Goodness, wasn't there anything she could do? If only she could tell Wanda she hadn't meant to hurt her feelings. Now she wanted to meet Wanda so that she can tell her that they are not as mean as she has supposed them to be. She turned around and stole a glance at Peggy. Now, very stealthily, she gave a look at Peggy, but Peggy didn't look up. She was studying. She seemed to be studying hard. Well, whether Peggy felt badly or not, she, Maddie, had to do something. Now, when she looked at Peggy, she was thinking maybe Peggy is not as disturbed as she herself. But she herself, means Maddie, had to do something to improve her improve her mental state. She had to find Wanda's patrons. She wanted to search for Wanda Petronsky. Maybe she had not yet moved away. She is thinking that maybe she has not left the city so far. Maybe Peggy would climb the heights with her and they would tell Wanda she had won the contest. What they thought, that they thought she was smart and the 100 dresses were beautiful. Now Wanda is thinking uh, that they must go. Peggy and Wanda must go. Peggy and Maddie must go to Wanda Petronsky to say sorry and to convey the message that she had won the contest of the drawings that she in which she has made beautiful 100 dresses, and they will also appreciate her for her being so talented artist. When school was dismissed in the afternoon, Peggy said with pretended casualness, pretended means just showing off, casualness, that she is casual. Now Peggy was just trying to show it to Maddie that she is casual about what happened to Wanda. Hey, let's go and see if that kid has left town or not. Now she says to Maddie, let's go to find out whether Wanda has left the city or not. So Peggy had the same idea, and Peggy was put forth her idea just as Maddie was thinking. So Maddie became happy. Glowed means happy, and Peg was really all right. And the two girls hurried out of the building, and these two girls came out of the school building and they started leaving for Boggin Heights, the part of town that was such a forbidding air on this kind of November afternoon, drizzly, damp, and dismal. But the climate was not favorable, just as it was in November and very cold, and it was damp, wet, and dismal means very sad. Well, at least, said Peggy gruffly, gruffly in a very rough voice. But Peggy said in a very rough voice, I never did call her a foreigner or a make fun of her. Now she's thinking that she had never teased her by calling her a foreigner, and she had never make fun of her name. I never thought she had the sense. Sense means understanding to know we were making fun of her anyway. She has never showed that she has minded about the fun that we are making fun of her. I thought that she was too dumb. Means she's less talkative, she is less expressive. And Gee, she was always happy. Gee is happy. Look how she can draw. The girl who used to be so quiet, how can she be a great artist that she has drawn a beautiful 100 dresses? Maddie could say nothing, but Maddie was not saying anything. All she hoped was that they would find Wanda. There was one hope, that she wanted to search for Wanda. She wanted to tell her, she wanted to apologize to her because of they had picked on her, because they have teased her, and how wonderful the whole school thought she was, and please not to move away and everybody would be nice. Now she wanted to persuade her for not to leave the city. She wanted to tell her that every student in the class, they are full of appreciation for her. They are very nice to her. Not move away of the everybody would be nice, and she and Peggy would fight anybody who was not nice. Now she wanted to she wanted to assure her that every would be nice to her in future. If anybody would not be nice to her, then Peggy and Maddie, they would fight for her against these persons who are not nice. The two girls hurried on. They hoped to get to the top of the hill before dark. Now these two girls wanted to go to the top where she used to live and before it is night. I think that's where the Petronsky live, said Maddie. Maddie said that maybe that is the place where Petronskys live, pointing to a little white house. When she pointed out to a little white house, wisps of old grass stuck up here and there along the pathway like thin kittens. Wisp means a thin bunch of old grass. They were scattered here and there, just like on the way, just like the thin baby cats. The house and the sparse little yard, means the surrounded area of the house, looked shabby, ugly, but clean. It reminded them of Wanda's one beautiful dress that she used to wear. It was faded but clean. It was shabby but clean. There was not a sign of life about the house. Peggy knocked firmly on the door, but there was no answer. She and Maddie went around to the backyard and knocked there. Still, there was no answer. Now, when these two girls reached there, they found that there was not even a single sign of life, means nobody was there in the house. Peggy knocked on the door very hard, but they didn't receive any answer. She and Maddie went around the backyard and knocked there, but still they didn't find any answer. Okay, students, we will continue this lesson in next class. Thank you very much.